Hey guys, Jamie here and welcome to episode 6 of Built. Now on social media this week I asked you what it is that you want me to do, and a lot of you enjoyed my happiness hypotheses last week, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do another mindset one. So this episode is all about motivation and my motivation manifesto. Enjoy. So the word motivation derives from the word motives, and what motives actually means is needs, wants, desires, and drives. And it's basically what gets us up in the morning to do the shit that we either know we need to do or want to do. And we're kind of breaking it down today by two things: intrinsic, internal, and extrinsic, external motivations. And what we're going to talk about first is external motivation. Now, when we're looking at external motivation, we're looking at two variables in it: the need to earn rewards or the need to avoid punishment. And that gives us a good understanding of external motivation. If we put into perspective your job. Now, most of you hopefully are very motivated in your job, even though some of you might not enjoy it. But if we're looking at these two variables, what do you get from a reward mechanism in your job? You get paid. You're very externally motivated because you get the reward of a nice paycheck. When it comes to the next variable, you're very motivated because you want to avoid punishment. If you don't turn up to your job on time, you will get the sack. So you have a lot of external motivation when it comes to your job. It gives you a paycheck, and if you don't turn up, you get the sack. Now let's move over to our physiques. Now, your job is a pretty easy one to look at when it comes to external motivators. However, your body is a little bit different. Earning rewards. Well, if you go to the gym, guess what? You're going to look good naked. If you don't go to the gym, you are not going to look naked, and that is a kind of a punishment. However, not in this country because it's cold. You're not going to be taking many of your clothes off. That might be a bit of a punishment if you do go on holiday, however. And actually, that might be a good external motivator. You want to avoid the punishment of looking bad on holiday, which externally motivates you to earn the rewards of having a good physique. And one of the things that we're trying to do when it comes to your body, your job, success, is start off with some external motivators and then really delve deep into understanding what internal motivators are and how you can use them to have sustainability. And that's something that I'm going to delve into now. External, definitely, you need these external motivators, you need these timelines, you need to earn rewards, you need to avoid punishment to get that result. But that has a place, and you can lose that. And you will spend a long time seeking and grabbing these external motivators. So the next thing that we are going to be talking about is intrinsic, internal motivators, because they're the most important ones that you need to understand. Now, internal motivators are the motivators that you want, especially when it comes to your physique, especially when it comes to your nutrition, etc., etc. Because if you are internally motivated to do something, it means that you want to do it. And if you want to do something, it's usually because you enjoy doing it. And it's something that I say all of the time. The best diet and the one that you're going to stick to is the one that you enjoy the most. The best training program is the one that you enjoy the most because you are internally motivated to do it out of that enjoyment. Now, I wrote a book. One of the chapters was mapping out your motivators. And one thing that I'm always fascinated when it comes to internal motivation is why a 8-year-old kid will sit down and play a video game for 8 hours and not get bored. And try and understand that kind of gamification and how we can use that for things like our nutrition, for things like our training, etc., etc. And I came across a very interesting thing, and it was what is called the ramp model. Now the ramp stands for many different things, and it's the kind of thing that we need to get our head around when it comes to our nutrition, our training, our success. Because if we have 4 of these things in place with those, then we are going to get success. Now, I'm going to be kickstarting with R. And R stands for relatedness. And what we mean by that is surrounding ourselves with like-minded people will give us motivation to keep going, even in those tough times. One of the famous quotes is you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. If you spend your time with 4 or 5 people that are gym goers, that eat healthily, guess what? You're going to become that 5th person. If you hang around with 4 people that are slobs, that are drinking, that are not going to the gym, it's going to be very hard to be externally and internally motivated to get results. So you need to surround yourself with a group of like-minded people that want the same things from life as you do. The next one is autonomy. Us as human beings don't like to be told what to do. If I point the finger at you and say, hey, you need to lose some weight, you're going to take offense by that. In fact, you're probably going to do the exact opposite of what it is that you know that you need to do. And something that I do with my social media, something that I do all the time, is not tell people what to do. I show people what to do by doing it myself. It's all about practicing what you preach. And this is the most important thing to understand. You need to make your own decisions in life. You need to understand the fundamentals behind what it is that you're doing, but most certainly you need to enjoy what it is that you're doing too. So I can never really say to you, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, because the chances are you won't do it. What I'm going to be doing over the next year and have been doing for the last 10 years is just giving you options, positive options which you can select and choose based on what it is that you want to do. And that is the key of autonomy. I keep putting out content in the hope that something clicks and something in your head goes, oh, I'm going to give that a try. And when you do give that a try, hopefully it works and hopefully you keep it up and hopefully you get the result. And that's really, really important to understand with autonomy. No one can tell you what to do. It's you that's got to find the answers. Now, from autonomy, we're looking at the next one, and that is mastery. Now, we want to get better at everything that we put time and effort into doing. And with any kind of game, if we're looking at a gamification model, we want to level up. As soon as we've completed level 1, we're looking at going on to level 2. As soon as we're going to level 2, we're looking at getting to that level 3. And as soon as we've completed the game, what does the game tell us to do? Increase the difficulty in what it is that we're doing. And this is why it's so important to understand this with your physique, with your nutrition, etc., etc. Because the game in the gym has never won. No one looks in the mirror and goes, yep, I'm done. You're constantly on this quest to get fitter, to get stronger, to get leaner. And this is what motivates us to continue with what it is that we're doing. And this is an amazing thing when it comes to your physique, because the job is never finished. You're always seeking new challenges and new results. So that is mastery. However, the key internal motivator to me is this final one. And this final one is purpose. Now, you need to have a strong why for what it is that you're doing. My old purpose for being in shape was I need to win a show. I need to do a photo shoot. These kind of purposes are very short-lived because they're very short-term goals. What you need to focus on is a lifelong purpose. My lifelong purpose for being fit and healthy is because I want to walk my daughter down the aisle. That's going to take 20, 30, 40 years if I allow her to get married. So I need to be patient. For me, health and fitness is a marathon, not a sprint. And my real purpose is to spend as much time on this planet as possible. So I'm not in a rush to do things. I'm not going to do any things that make me uncomfortable for very long periods of time. I'm going to be seeking things that I enjoy doing that adhere to the fundamentals of getting the result. So this real thing that you need to understand when it comes to being internally motivated is really understanding why you're doing it. And if that why is strong enough, then this will give you a purpose. This will make you want to get better at it. you've made your own decisions with it, and you're going to hang around with a lot of people on the same track as you, going for success. Now, the last thing that I'm going to be explaining in this motivation manifesto is the 3 levels of motivation for change. Once you understand these, you know what level you're at, and then you sort of better understand what level that you need to get to if what it is that you're looking to achieve is going to actually be achieved and you're going to have that sustainable success. So we're going to start with level 1. Level 1 is at an intellectual level of understanding. Now, what do I mean by that? If you eat too much food, you'll gain weight. If you smoke, the chances are you're going to limit your life on this planet. Just because we know these things doesn't mean that we're motivated to stop doing it. Most people, when it comes to motivation, know what they're doing is not helping them, but they still do it anyway, which is why that first level is very hard to actually get any kind of sustainability when it comes to motivation to change. Now, the next level of our understanding for motivation to change is at an emotional level. And I'll put a little bit of a story with this so you understand exactly what I mean. I had a client that weighed 350 pounds. He'd always struggled to lose weight until one day he was going on holiday, he was on a plane, and he couldn't fit in the seat. He was so embarrassed because he had to stand up for most of the journey. And it was that emotional embarrassment that gave him the motivation to change and drop 150 pounds. Now, a lot of people go through emotional episodes that cause them to be motivated to change. They'll have a loved one that dies of cancer, which then motivates them to put down the cigarettes and start focusing on their health. This is a huge difference when it comes to being at an intellectual level, because everyone knows what they're not doing and what they are doing, and everyone hopes that hopefully that won't happen to me. But if it happens to someone close to them, alarm bells go, and then suddenly you get the motivation to change. However, this can be forgotten about, and this might not always give you that sustainable motivation to change. Level 3, however, is where everybody needs to get to when it comes to having that intrinsic internal motivation forever. Now, a lot of people say to me, Jamie, why are you so motivated to get up in the morning? Why are you so motivated to go to the gym? And I say, it's not really that hard for me because I'm at this level 3. And this level 3 is, I'm at an identity level. Being healthy, being fit, and being strong is part of who I am. This is why you have people like bodybuilders. They're always in shape because they identify themselves as a bodybuilder. This is why you have people like tennis players, basketball players that get better and better at what it is that they do, because they're very intrinsically motivated because they identify themselves as a golfer, a tennis player, a basketball player. And it's very easy for them to do the habits and routines because they enjoy what it is that they do. I can get up early in the morning quite easily because I get a huge benefit and it makes me feel good. I get a massive benefit about going to the gym. So I'm very intrinsically motivated to go in there and do it because it makes me feel good and I actually enjoy what it is that I do. But I also identify as that. I'm a personal trainer, I'm a coach, I practice what I preach. I have a strong identity based on what it is that I do, which means it's very easy for me to keep consistent with it. So my challenge for you, ladies and gents, is think about that. Think about the gym, think about nutrition, think about things that you do in your life. Are you aware of what it is that you're doing or not doing? Is it painful enough for you to change? And if that's not doing it, start to identify as a person that does those habits and routines. You are a gym goer. You are a person that cares about their health and their fitness. You are a person that wants to spend as long on this planet as possible. Start identifying with the habits of that person, and then your motivation will be a lot easier to do. Ladies and gents, thank you ever so much for tuning in, and I want to know what you want to see next week. So please comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.